everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. All right, the Baltimore Ravens just upgraded their offense significantly. And how did they do that? They just signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a one-year deal that will be worth up to $18 million, and $15 million of those dollars will be guaranteed. He will also have a $13.835 million signing bonus, along with having a $1.1 million base salary, and OBJ will have the chance to make an extra $3 million from incentives. With the Baltimore Ravens signing OBJ, they finally have their number one guy at the wide receiver position. And because of this signing, going into next season, they have the chance to go all the way and as far as the AFC Championship. But here's the thing. Does this change Lamar Jackson's mind? Lamar Jackson, a month ago, requested a trade from the Baltimore Ravens on March 2nd because the Ravens were showing him that they have a complete inability to pay him the money he rightfully deserves. They also ended up signing him to a franchise tag, and Lamar Jackson didn't even want to do that in the first place, even though that the franchise tag is $32.4 million. And it also made the Ravens look even worse because they made it a non-exclusive tag. With the signing of Odell Beckham Jr. to the Ravens, this does definitely give the idea to Lamar Jackson to change his mind because he will be throwing to a star wide receiver. And earlier this week, we saw a couple days ago that Lamar Jackson posted a few pictures on Instagram of him and OBJ FaceTiming. And then OBJ ended up posting a picture of his recently born son in a Lamar Jackson jersey on Instagram as well. Well, with Lamar Jackson, he wants to win a championship. He wants to play for these Baltimore Ravens. And people forget that when he got drafted, on his draft night, he said he wanted to win a Super Bowl for these Baltimore Ravens. The only question is Baltimore going to pay Lamar? Because with the signing of Odell Beckham Jr., this was a smart move by the Baltimore Ravens because they took the New York Jets completely out of the conversation, and now Aaron Rodgers won't be able to play with the receiver that he requested the Jets try and sign. And with that, OBJ in his career, this guy has been a phenomenal receiver when it counts sometimes. Now, when I say that is, even though that the Ravens just signed OBJ to a $15 million guaranteed contract and potentially getting 18, this guy is also going into year 10, and the last time that he played was 2021, where he tore his ACL in the Super Bowl while playing for the Rams, playing the Cincinnati Bengals. And with that, OBJ is known for having leg injuries throughout his career. So how much longer is his legs going to carry him? But still, at the same time, these guys, OBJ and Lamar Jackson, have inside information that they have inside information that they know and we don't. So OBJ could be able to convince Lamar Jackson to really stay with the Baltimore Ravens, but we'll see when the time comes. And here's the thing, we definitely right now don't want to be missing out on the beginning of the 2023 NBA playoffs, or should I say the 2023 NBA play-in. There are two games tonight, one from each conference. The first game will be starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it will be the 7th seed Miami Heat versus the 8th seed Atlanta Hawks. And then the second game will be the LA Lakers, the 7th seed LA Lakers versus the 8th seed Minnesota Timberwolves, and that game will begin at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and both of these games will be playing on TNT. But out of both of these games, to start off the play-in tournament, the game that you want to watch, because it will be the better game, is the Miami Heat versus the Atlanta Hawks, because every single time that these two play, it's a straight shootout every time, but Miami is usually the one that ends up winning, because right now they're leading the season series 3-1 over the Atlanta Hawks. And here's the thing. The Miami Heat are the worst scoring team in the league this year, yet they managed to beat a top 3 scoring team in the league this year by a few points every single time, and is just winning this series. But here's the thing about that too. The Atlanta Hawks are a small ball team, and because the Atlanta Hawks are a small ball team, it's going to be a real struggle to even get past the play-in, because this team will only go as far as Trae Young will be able to take them. As for the LA Lakers Minnesota Timberwolves game, you really don't need to watch it, because the Lakers are just going to walk right through the Minnesota Timberwolves and just go right on to play the Memphis Grizzlies. And with the Minnesota Timberwolves, even if they were fully healthy and fully rostered without the recent drama that they have just recently displayed from a few days ago, they still wouldn't beat the Lakers, because they are just that significantly better than them. And the Lakers have been on a huge hot streak lately, winning 9 of their last 11 games to finish out the season. Now, the drama that the Minnesota Timberwolves just had is that their guy, Jaden McDaniels, just fractured his right hand from punching a wall out of frustration. Then after that, Kyle Anderson and Rudy Gobert got into a heated argument during their game, and Kyle Anderson ended up calling Rudy Gobert the B word, and Rudy Gobert ended up punching him, and now the Minnesota Timberwolves and Rudy Gobert is facing the possibility that he could be suspended for the play-in game. But even if Rudy Gobert was playing, we all know the Lakers are going to win this game. And with the Lakers playing the Memphis Grizzlies, this series is going to go 6 or 7 games, and the Lakers have the edge in this series because the Memphis Grizzlies are not fully healthy. The Memphis Grizzlies do not have Brandon Clark or Steven Adams, and those are 2 key players and 2 big guys that are going, or would be the main guys that is going to slow down Anthony Davis and LeBron James, because these 2 guys can practically walk through the Memphis Grizzlies or any team if they don't have a good enough big to slow them down or be able to stop them at all. And if the Memphis Grizzlies did end up having the Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, the Memphis Grizzlies would have this series and win it in 6 or 7 games. Because the Memphis Grizzlies, they were that team this year. They're the second team in the Western Conference to win 50 games. And Steven Adams and Brandon Clark were there for most of the time, but because they're out, they're a dramatically different team when it comes to being able to stop shots and stop their opponent from getting tough points down in the post. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And